I always like to start the podcast with a laugh, to be fair. It's that cheeky question before we start. Are you ready? Yeah, of course I am. And it makes me giggle. So, hi, and welcome to another episode of If It's in the Mind, It Can Be Managed. Today, we're going to be talking to the coaches that watch this for hints and tips for how they can grow their business. Estelle is in the area that I think I don't normally say the name, so I'll let you normally introduce yourself. However, the whole world, and I've been doing a lot of podcasts on AI, and look, it's a minefield, and I think it's as we talked for 2 minutes before the podcast started, it is sold as the solution to all your problems, and you can do it on your own. And I try to do it on my own, and I'm like, that's shit. So what? It must be my prompts, whatever, and it's doing me nothing. So Estelle, you're on for that reason. We are. How do coaches use AI properly so that it actually starts generating the help that we need within our businesses? So, Estelle, even though I've said your first name, as if you were on blind dates, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
I'm Estelle Cartledge. I own My Biz Solution. I'm based in South Wales, helping businesses across the UK with systems, processes, automations, and where suitable, AI solutions.
And that's what we're going to be talking about, the whole debate of solution of AI. Do you know, just before we go into this, and I told you we don't edit this, do you know Hayley Wheeler?
No.
I just had her on 30 minutes ago, and she's from Wales, and she's in your business networking group.
Oh, is she? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
absolutely.
vaguely recognise the name, but not come across her yet.
Right. So look, and we're coming. The way we're coming through this podcast is a solution-focused approach for coaches so that they can watch this and go, right, I can either do this on my own or I need to speak to Estelle, right? Because there's so many idiosyncrasies with AI that even when I purchased AI, I use a lot of AI, and even I can't type a story. I can talk a story, and I'm great verbally, but I can't write it and call to actions and head stories and all these things that I should be better at. I need to learn more so that I'm not doing it. So I'll not say what I'm using because it's not an advertising podcast, but I use one and I've been looking at the posts and I'm like, oh God, I could have done better myself. And I am an atrocious typer, even though I got to put in exactly what I wanted to follow, which is LinkedIn secrets, how to win at LinkedIn, use this model, and then start creating posts for me in that area. Why is it still shit, Estelle? I'm just going to go with that.
On behalf of everybody at Google and Meta and everything else, everybody in Silicon Valley, no, it is still shit because it's a matter of knowing what you want it to do. Now, what I'm finding is a lot of people, and it's not just you're talking about a content creation aspect there, but people are using AI in all aspects of the business, and they're quickly seeing that it causes more hassle and more work than that it actually solves. Because, like you, I could put something through a random LLM, a random like ChatGPT or Claude or something, and the amount of time it takes me to then edit that and do everything with it, I could have done it myself twice as quick.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where you've got the whole, is it going to replace humans? No, it's not, because humans need to be able to have the ideas to put in it, which is where we've got all of the prompt engineering, the context engineering, and everything else that goes into it. But from the marketing perspective of how to generate content, there is again a massive scope of what you can get it to do. So, I mean, in your instance, are you just getting it to create posts and pictures, or are you cloning yourself and putting yourself on adverts and making your arms go on fire and all the other
Yeah, I've not cloned
things you
myself
could
yet.
do? You've not cloned yourself, right? I I have gone. down
I,
that rabbit
I'm
hole.
scared to close. I'm not sure the world is ready for two Cuddies, to be fair. I'm
No.
not. Have I cloned myself? No. I want it to be able to write a story that people click on, and the pictures it puts in are. I look at them and I'm like, that's not me. It's not found my voice yet. And I'm getting. Is it because I don't know what my voice is, which is why there's not clarity on the posts? Is that what it is?
It very well could be, because I'm very similar in that respect, in that I'll write something and I'll put something on a blog post or an article or something, and I can look at that a week later and I can say, that's terrible. I don't want to say that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to change this, that, and the other. So in that respect, if I can't decide on what I want, and then how on earth can I expect somebody else to? And this is where we kind of do get confused when it comes to using AI. AI is really good for speed, if you want to get things done quickly, and that's in all parts of the business, not just the marketing. Consistency, because it works literally deterministic. It works off what it predicts is going to happen next. So this is Cuddy, he wants this, XYZ, we know this, and this. So the likely outcome is this. And that's literally what it's trained on. It's probabilistic, and if you put in that, it will come out with that. So if you've got any wild and wonderful ideas in the interim, in that middle bit, it's not going to pick up on that. And then what it comes out at is you're going, well, hang on a minute, but I was thinking this, and I was thinking of having the picture with me in the distance, and oh, it was all lovely and magical trees around me or whatever. And it's like, well, how the hell is that supposed to know that and come out with that if you don't actually put that in? And on the flip side of that, if you put that in and put something like, I want a picture of a cat walking through a forest, then what you could get is the back end of a cat with its tail up and the arsehole of a cat walking through the forest. I
True.
mean, that's what you're looking at. So you've got to be extremely specific, and this is where it comes from: the mind, the creativity, and the problem solving of the human. And that's where we can't expect it. It's not a creative entity. It's not got its own creativity. So how can we expect it? So we need to be very, very clear on what we want out of it.
And I suppose from a business owner, if they don't know, because I'm in that area sometimes. As a coach and a consultant, I work in some days I work in mental health with that's what somebody needs. Sometimes I work on confidence. Sometimes, and it's like, how do I fuse all these? Then I'm trained in trauma, so I help people overcome trauma quite quickly, probably quicker than a lot of other modalities do when I work with clients and things like that. And I suppose. Yeah, putting those concepts together is actually a me problem, not an AI problem, isn't it? It is, to be fair.
Hmm. Yeah, AI is really good, and it's getting we're still a long way from the mass market of having the agentic AI, whereby that uses several different systems to actually then sort of get some kind of creativity and some kind of independent thought about what to do. But that still requires connecting with a lot of different things. At the minute, what's on the mass market that we're using has not got any emotional intelligence. So my posts, my content that I put out, things that I do, I'm very much a straight talking person. I
Mhm.
don't like I don't like analogies. I don't like fluff. I don't like words for words' sake putting in there. And I remember when I first started using this years ago, and everything it had a nautical theme to it, and everything you put in, it was like, oh, as you're sailing through the seas of, and it's like, what the hell?
Does that because it used to be a
I've never
cruise direct.
sailed anywhere.
Mine does that.
Oh yeah, see, that's kind of what it's trying to do. And then the other classic one early on was it always referred to things in relation to like the tapestry of life. And it's like, tapestry of what? I would never use those words. So it's That's the only time I've ever said those words, just to you then.
Look, yeah.
But that is literally how it's trained. But you put in your information in there from the LinkedIn. Like what did you put that into? Did you put that, is that a GPT or?
No, I don't use ChatGPT. But strangely enough, I never have.
Yep.
So I found when ChatGPT was on the rise, I've something popped up called Easy Peasy AI. And now that is actually really good because it uses all of the search engines and all of the Claudes and the Megas and whatever they're called, Sally, whatever they call them, different every week. And it uses all of them. But then I saw something pop up with a really, really nice advert. Said this advert's made with AI, and I'm like, oh, I want that. So I think it's Sintra I'm on now. 12 AI assistants. We're starting. I've noticed a change in how it's working for me and things like that. But there's a couple of the time. There's a couple of times, and I'm like, I've never once seen one advert from my Sintra that Sintra actually used with their system. I'm like, I wanted that advert because that's what made me buy. Um, I've got this is a theological question, so you don't actually I've got a feeling you know the answer. And there's going to be a lot of people that know the answer. But when you were talking, it popped into my mind, and I'm like, where did AI start and come from? How did someone discover that they could create an artificial intelligence? Where's that come from?
It dates back to the first one was, I think, the 1950s, where that's where it all stemmed from. But it's something, it's been in development for years and years and years, that has been behind the scenes, and it's been being used. And this is where it always alarms me that people think that they can use these things for free. They just think that it's popped out of nowhere and we can all use it for free with no ethical nothing. It's just like, and it's not free. Like, it's cost billions and billions and billions of pounds to develop this. We just haven't known it was going on. It's only really come into the main system in what, 2018 or something, was when it kind of really blew up. And that was a mistake by ChatGPT, because they didn't actually mean to release what they did. It was meant to go to a small audience of beta testers, and apparently they released it on the wrong platform, and it just it just went crazy within a couple of months. But yeah, these things have been around for a long, long time, and it's only when they've kind of gained momentum, and now they're in the public space, that there is now this rush by the likes of Grok and Claude and Quen and Google, and they're all now rushing to be to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I think what we're finding, much like you've just found with what you were using, Synthesia, I think you said, things are being rushed out there and they're not ready.
Mm.
And it's like, and this is where I'm finding a lot of people starting to implement things and starting to use things, and that's going to be quite dangerous if you start using them in your job or in your business. And not only is it producing shit results, which has an effect on your reputation and your business, but it actually is then you're gonna have to backtrack and then look at, right, we've got to take that out and then put that back in again. So where I come from, I kind of work from the end backwards. It's like, well, I've not seen this shiny new tool, that, like you did. I said, oh, shiny new tool. Well, have some of that.
Yeah.
I want them.
I'm sure I'm not the only coach that likes the shiny new tool.
Of
There's no
course
way.
you're not.
A coach or a therapist, I'm sure we all like a shiny new tool. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's going to take something away from us. That's going to take something away from us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got tabs and tabs and tabs on the screens here that are all full of shiny new tools. But my excuse is that I'm testing them and I'm using them.
Right. So, look, thank you very much for that. 1950s. Wow, that is a long time ago.
Hmm.
And what was it used for in 1950? Was it a chess
I
program or something?
I can't remember. It was something to do with, I'm sure it was something to do with telephone answer machines or something like that. I can't remember
Wow. No,
exactly.
it's fine.
But that's when it goes back to, I think.
Okay, perfect. Right, so let's technically start the podcast now, Estelle. After we've had that great introduction, that background, and the knowledge. So I'm a coach, Estelle. I'm a mind management coach, and I work with businesses, but I work with clients one on one, and I have an online coaching platform. Okay, I'm going to come to you because you're the best solution for AI. What are we going to, I'm literally going to help you to talk about what you do and say, Cuddy, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to use, and this is why you're going to use it. So talk me through that process, Estelle, so that somebody else watching this podcast is, right, I need to speak to Estelle. Estelle's the one that's going to help me with this massive conundrum of everything that I'm going through.
Right, perfect scenario. You've got a platform, you've got a counselling. What do you want to achieve?
So these are the questions that you ask. I love it.
What I
I
mean, I can't tell you anything unless I know what you want to achieve.
Yeah, I want to achieve global domination for mind management. No, no. Can you imagine putting that into AI and I go, well, all you need to do is this. This is your 10-step process. Just put this and you'll be able to do it. No, I want to be able to put the modality of all the coaching styles that I've got into the world so that people go, right, that can help me. That's a great self-help tool. And then they're going to think, well, I've enjoyed the course with Cuddy, but do you know what? I think I want to do a couple of sessions with Cuddy. Because I'm not a big believer in having people on long coaching programs, and because it creates a self-dependency, and I was just talking to business about that today, and they were like, no, we can generally find a resolve in 4 to 5 sessions. That's what people are looking for is that quick win so they can go on and live their life on their terms. So my goal is to get the brand of Mind Management Mentors membership out to the world using AI. The membership helps them learn how to be a coach from basic to expert, and it has a business integrated system in as well that helps them to go and learn it without technically paying thousands and thousands of pounds of working with me one on one.
Okay. AI is not a solution where you can say, I'm going to use AI and that's going to happen. You need to have the strategy in respect of what you're going to do. So we can't say, I could say, right, let's make 5 AI Cuddy clones. I quite like that term, a
A
Cuddy
Cuddy
clone.
clone.
We can make 5 AI Cuddy clones, and you can concentrate on different areas of the business, and then you can do like you literally then can put a script in, and you can have them delivering keynote speeches around the world. Like that's on big screens. You can be up on in Times Square if you want to delivering something, but it's your strategy. Like AI is not gonna provide you with the strategy. It's not just going to do it for you. AI is a tool that helps you do all the different things, because what you use for one avenue will be completely different to what to use for another. So if you're just doing social media, and let's say you're doing an ad campaign on LinkedIn, for example, the tools and the solutions you need there are going to be different from if you want to put yourself on pre-recorded courses or pre-recorded evergreen content that you want to put out or that you want to sell. So like if you wanted to put something on Udemy, for example, a short course, you can pre-record that, or you can get a clone to do that, but that's not using the same AI. And there's a lot of times in marketing where, like with the whole follow-up situation, and when from when you first get your leads in to when they become a customer, and then the follow-up after, right, to review and repeat customers, a lot of that in there, yes, we can use different AI systems in there, but a lot of that doesn't even need AI. That just needs automation and different systems. So we can't assume that AI is the fix for everything, because there are so many different systems and so many different tools, and they all do different things. So much like you were saying about your system that you use, because that's got all of the different LLMs in. So when you've got different LLMs, so we've got like Claude, Grok, GPT, Quen, whatever, there's loads of them. There is actually, I think it's one, we're closing near to 1.8 million of those at the minute. So the same systems as GPT on the market, there are close to 1.8 million of them. And like,
Different versions of ChatGPT with a different
well,
name.
yes, they're all out there.
Wow.
But there's so many, but it's one of these things, and you would have noticed this when you go on and use these different things. So if you've used things like Gamma for creating
Carousels and stuff.
or
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, yeah. So if you've used anything like that, or Lovable or B12 to create a website, you'll find that the interfaces of all of these things are very, very similar. So it's not just a case of you've got to go out there and learn everything. These are all kind of based on the same things, but they're all used for different purposes. So even in your chat GPT now, you've got I think we're up to 5.2, aren't we? The different models. You wouldn't know if you don't use it. But there's all of those different models. And those different models are built to do different things. And just like the Claude Code has now just come out, that's built specifically and trained specifically to do a coding job and to satisfy that side of things. Whereas another model, another Claude model, the same company is designed to do something else. So we can't just assume that we're going to use AI and it's going to solve all of our problems. What we really need to do is we need to look at exactly what we want to be happening, exactly what our outcome is first. This is what we want to achieve. And then we've got to work backwards because I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago, and she said, I get leads coming in off Facebook mainly. She said, and then it does this, and then it does this, and that's it. She said, I just want that sorted. And I said, well, that's lovely, but it's like there's a lot more in that. That's not just a case of you doing that. And she said, well, no, that's all that happens. And when we actually boiled it down, because we are so natural in the way we think. And
Yeah.
it's like if I'm going to make a cup of tea, for example, as far as I'm concerned, I put the kettle on, I make the tea. What I don't do is I don't say, right, I'm now assessing the danger of walking through this door. I'm now looking at the floor to make sure there's nothing there. I've then got to jump over the cat. I've then got to do that. I've then got to do that. I've then got to make sure that when I open the door, it's not hitting. It's all of those thought processes.
Mm.
But when you put these things into a computer, it's not gonna know that. So in order to automate me going to make a cup of tea, I have to have about 20 different points in there. And this is where it came down to automating this woman's workflow. And what seemed very easy to her, and when she phoned me up, oh, can you just do this? I can, but it's going to be wrong. Like it's not gonna be fit for purpose because somewhere in there it's going to do something, and then this is where the hallucinations come in. Somewhere in there, if you don't do it properly, it's going to start assuming because what it's built to do is to please you. It's built to give you an
That's
answer.
right. Yes, I got explained. It's like it's a really happy puppy that just wants to make you really happy, so it's going to make up stuff.
Yeah. And even if you put a completely shit answer in or put something completely rubbish in, it will come back to you and it will say, oh, yes, you've got a really good point, Cuddy. Thank you for bringing this up. And then it will go on. But that's what it's built to do. It's built to please you. And if it doesn't know or it gets stuck on something, it will just make it up.
I did some. I host quizzes, pub quizzes, and I said I need 10 factual quiz questions as if used on the 1% Club. I wanted the 1% logical thinking questions. And Brit said, these are you. I know you're nodding already. So I put these 10 questions in, and I was just reading one of the questions because it was in the quiz because I go through them to make sure I spell checked them right. And I'm looking at the question, and I'm like, that's not right. I think it was
No.
like, it was something, what's the one number, what's the next spelled number in the sequence? A 1% game show question. And it was like 1, 2, 3, 7, and 9. And it gave you the option of either 6, 7, or 14 or whatever. And then the answer was one has got 3 letters, two has got 3 letters, so three has 4 letters, five has 4 letters. So he said the next one is six because it's got 6 letters. And I was like, no, it doesn't have 3 letters. It's not six. Six is not the answer. And I was like, that's wrong. He went, oh, let me go back and check it. He went, no, that's right. And I'm like, no, it's not right. So yeah, it was, I actually had to change some of the questions in the trivia questions. And then I looked at some of the other questions and I was like, that's not right. Because I say, scan Trivial Pursuit, get the questions from Trivial Pursuit, get the answers, make sure they're factually correct, use this source. And they come back, and I've done them in pub quizzes, and they're like, Cuddy, that's not right. And I'm like, let me double check it. So I asked Google, they went, no, that's completely wrong. And that's not even using AI. I was like, oh
The
my God.
amount, yeah, the amount of people that don't check it, and it's like, I mean, I've had emails from people, and they clearly haven't read what it's produced, because you can. I mean, that's a good use of it. Is that it can go through your emails, it can answer your emails and everything else, but you still got to check what it's written, because but somebody copy pasted something into an email to me once, and it got down to the bottom, and before it said regards XYZ, or it had the bit at the bottom, what would you like me to do next? If you can't even be bothered to read it and take that out, like, you should not be allowed to use it at all. I'm not going to believe anything else that it said in there. Somebody did give me an analogy one day. I heard that they put something in, and it was about pregnancy, and if you're pregnant and you've got one baby in your belly in month one, the likelihood is, or the assumption is that by month 9 you're going to have 9 babies, and because that's logical.
If it takes one, it's like a maths equation. If it takes
Yeah.
1 month for one, by 9 months you'll have nine. Ah!
That was I that wasn't mine, but somebody mentioned that to me once, which I thought was classic.
That's so classic. Right. By the way, this is a great conversation about AI. However, I'm coming to you, Estelle. My best solution. How are you going to make AI work for me? What is it? How is it we work together, or anybody works with Estelle? What's Estelle's outcome when you work with her?
I will start with doing a full audit. So it's when I first started out, we did little audits, so we can audit parts of the business, we can audit your whole business, but generally people come to me, and it's more in the marketing, it's more in the customer journey, although we do work in other areas as well. But that is the big one for most people at the minute. So what I will do an audit of what you've already got in place. So what are you using? Because quite often you have already got systems and processes in place in your business that are working. And then it's a case of analysing what's working, what's not, what you need to get rid of, what's costing you money, what you can save on. And then we've got gaps. Once we can see the gaps, once we've got the goals and the strategy where you want to go with it, then we can look at what we need to do to fill those gaps. Now, that may be looking at integrations into current systems. It may be changing systems, but that is different for every single customer. Because if you're a salon, for example, or a hairdresser, you've got a CRM system which is specifically for salons. And integrations into those might not work so well as they do into something like high level. So it really is a case of the first thing I will do is the consultation side. That is the audit. And that works well because it gives everybody a clear view on what we've got, where we're going, what we need to do. Because there are some people who are, let's say, more technical than others, that like to get involved with that themselves. And there are other people that just say, do you know what, just deal with that, get on with it. And that's different as to what input level that you want on it. So it could be that I bob into your website or put something on your website, an AI assistant on your website, for example. Could be that I train an AI for you, and then I give you freelance to do what you want with it, and you can go off and do that. But there's the other side of it is that some businesses have already got tech teams in place, they've got a marketing department, they've got all of that, and that's always quite tricky because it's going in and telling people that it's almost like telling people they're not doing their job.
It's
Um,
also like telling them, "Oh, AI is going to take your job. I'm just in here to set this AI up thing. You're probably not going to be working here in 3 months."
no, absolutely not. But it is a case of it's just the consultancy side of it is just a bird's eye view on what exactly is going on. What are we doing? What have we got? And where do you want to go? And there are people that I speak to and they're like, well, I don't really know. I kind of want, well, maybe this, maybe that. And I was like, well, if you haven't got an outcome, if you haven't got a goal, if you haven't got a purpose, what on earth can you plan to do if you don't know the outcome? Oh, but I thought we might do something like, well, make a decision, you know?
Yeah, because do you know, I was looking into the reason a lot, and I just heard it on the radio this morning as well, that teenagers are using AI as a companion now.
Mm,
They're
yeah.
asking it questions about mental health. And bearing in mind, I've asked it to generate 10 questions on questions for a pub quiz, and it gave me faulty information. Then what? Because it works on the information it's given, doesn't it? So if I put a shitty command in, it's going to give me a shitty answer.
It's based on the information from an app. It's not just your information that
Of
you put in.
course.
It's well, you can. There's settings you can switch off, so you're not training it with your information. You can switch those off. But essentially, yes, it is trained on an absolute millions and millions and millions and millions of data sets. I mean, I've got systems in here that I can show you exactly how the model works because it's a black box. We can't understand it, but I've got models that I can show you how it actually works. But there was this there's been a few cases actually, but there was a case in the States recently where some parents sued GPT because their son committed suicide.
Oh, bless.
And there's been a few of them. That wasn't a lone thing. And it was because he was asking it questions and he was talking to it, much like you say, using it as a companion. But all it was doing was giving him the answers to his questions. So if you say, well, what's the most effective way to have an overdose, for example? Oh, well, if you use these pills, it's going to take more than if you use these pills. And if you do, and
Oh my God.
and it was just being nice to him and answering
Because
his
it wanted to
question.
give you the answer. Oh, this is the best way, not understanding the
Yeah.
context of what that. Holy shit.
Now, there are guardrails in place. Well, there should be. There are guardrails in place that are meant to prevent this from happening. But apparently, he got round it by telling it he was researching to write a book.
Oh,
According to what I've read, he told it that he was using it as research to write a book.
wow.
So bypassed all of that safeguarding, and if you put something like that into AI and say, oh, this is blah blah blah, this happened, that's happened, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this. What should I do? Should I do this or this? They'll go, yeah, the best thing to do is end it because that
Oh
is the most
my
likely
God.
outcome. That is the logical outcome. End it. It's like quitting a job. It's like you go onto it and say, right, my boss has done this, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened, I've had a pay cut, blah 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 blah. The likelihood, the outcome of that, the predictive outcome of that is quit your job.
Wow. So I want to finish this podcast, or I want to create this for you, Estelle. Is what three things does somebody need to do for them to create a solid AI marketing tool for themselves? What's three things that Estelle's basically going to do for you? But instead of somebody coming to us, Estelle, what has to happen for it to be an effective marketing tool? Not sales, marketing. What has to happen?
They have to have their goal, obviously. So your planning, your strategy, what you want to happen, that needs to be solid, because without that, you've got nowhere to go. You need to know exactly what your workflow is. So exactly what you want your customer to do. So in marketing, are you putting it out on a social media? Are you putting it out on a billboard somewhere? Exactly what your customer journey needs to be. Now I've worked through this. We've done this in half an hour. Sometimes it's taken a month or so to work through this because it keeps changing. And people's ideas keep changing. But you need to know exactly, it's your decision, what you want to happen to that customer. You want them to see this, you want them to click that, you want them to do that, you want them to read this, you want them to end up there. And once you've got that, once we've done all of that, then we can look at how we're going to make each one of those happen. And when that's in place and we've made each one of those happen, what you've then got is you've got data. And all of that data, then you can see at any point what's working, what's not, what needs tweaking, what needs changing, because everybody's got data in their company. They're just not using it properly. There's a lot of people, and they'll say, "Oh no, I've not got any data." Well, have you got an email list? Yeah, you've got data. Where did those emails come from? I don't know. Why not? If you'd have known that, you'd have got this. And then if you'd have known that, where those emails are coming from, you'd have known which AI tool was best or most suitable to convert that to that. And
It sounds like a minefield, Estelle. Even that, I always
it
try and walk
absolutely
away
is.
from the podcast going, right, I know how to do something. But this is why we need Estelle.
And this is, yes, yeah. I'm not going to
Yes.
knock over that. Yes.
No, that was I literally set that one up for you to knock it out of the ballpark. But this is why you need an Estelle.
Yeah, and an AI business consultant. So I'm a certified AI business consultant, and it's an ongoing training because what I did 18 months ago is irrelevant now. Hands up, it's not.
Wow.
It's a continual learning thing. So I'm on a continual learning path with that, but it is something that, yes, there's a lot of noise around it. And there's a lot of people that think, yes, I'm going to do this myself. I can go out there, I can do this. But it's going to be, and it's taken some time to kind of get out there in the sense of a business coach. Like we all know the benefits of a business coach. We all know the benefits of a business consultant or of a mentor, things like that. But it is something that you do need to take a step back. You do need to look at it as a consulting process first, because otherwise you just in a year's time, there's going to be 100, what is it? I think the tools and everything on the market. I think something like, it folds, there's like 6,000 more every week or something stupid. I don't know the numbers of that. But otherwise, we're going to get ourselves into a point where we're just using things for the sake of using it, and that's not what it's used for. And essentially, it does cost money as well. There's a cost to the environment. There's an ethical cost. It does cost money, and we need to make sure that we're investing in the right places.
I never even thought about an environmental issue of AI, but I suppose you've got to build the systems that are going to use carbon.
Huge.
Wow. Yes. Never even thought about that. Right. Okay. So we've kind of talked about the downside. What's two positives? Two positives about how AI is helping marketing right now.
It's consistent. It's quick. It works 24/7 when you're not there. It doesn't drop any balls. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It doesn't forget things. So once it's set up, once you've got all of these things in place, it's done.
Wow. That was a lot. That's actually good. And what have you seen change? What positive changes have you seen from like you said, 18 months ago, it's redundant. So that and I've done a lot of podcasts on AI because I think it's a fascinating subject. And I remember that the guy that I was talking to said today, and the output that it's giving you is actually the worst version of that output. And that's not that bad. That's going to get doubly good tomorrow, 4 times as good the day after. So, what has Estelle seen of a wow, this is a miracle?
it it reduces people's time. The small businesses that I work with, it does change your life, because when you've got AI that is pulling together information from different parts and managing to do things. So let's say you're a therapist or you're a roofer, you're up on the roof all day, you are the business, you're the expertise, you're on the tools all day, and then you get home, and then 9 or 10 at night, you're doing the quotes, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it is an absolute game changer for those people that's the biggest case I've seen at the moment. Because your bigger companies, they're using it in a slightly different way. But the biggest impact I've seen at the minute is your small businesses, your solopreneurs, your one-man bands, the time saving it's costing them. They're not losing the leads that they would have done because AI is answering the phone calls. They've got an AI assistant that is answering those calls,
Yeah,
through to the right place, sending them links to pay. And where you've got somebody phone in the morning, let's say you're a plumber, if somebody's phoning you, likelihood is they've got a leak somewhere. They want
yeah,
them now.
yeah,
And it's like, if you're up on the roof somewhere, by the time you get back to that phone call, they've gone somewhere else.
yeah,
So it's a bit different if you like selling conservatories or something. That's a long
yeah,
time, a long decision. But for those types of decisions, so if you've got a phone call at 9 o'clock in the morning, then AI and automations, the mix of both of them, can ensure that that person's questions are answered. They've got a suitable appointment time. They've been sent a payment link. They've paid. And then by the time you get home in the evening and put your feet up, you look on your phone and you say, oh gosh, I've got that in the diary for next Wednesday, or I've got that in the diary for tomorrow. And they've already paid for it. And then they've already got a review request as soon as the job's done, and it's all done. So that side of it, in
that's astounding.
taking all of that business side away, is an absolute game changer for small businesses, because it means they can be super productive and kind of still have a life. Because at the end of the day, we start our businesses not to work 24/7. We don't want to give ourselves a job. We want a business because we want a better lifestyle. And
That's true.
you don't get that because you start a business because you're a good plumber. You don't want to do marketing. You don't want to be posting on social media. You don't want to be dancing on TikTok. You don't want to be doing
True.
anything. You don't really want to be doing invoices and accounts and everything else.
Yeah.
So the more we can get these systems to do it for us, and that is a mix. It's not all AI. It's a mix of AI, automations, and different systems. But once we've audited and once we've done that and seen exactly what you want to happen, then we can tell you what you need to put in place.
Perfect. Right. I have 2 questions for you. Who should invest in AI tomorrow? Which business should invest in AI tomorrow with the systems that you have? Who would it best, kind of sounds like it's a plumber or a roofer, but who would it best suit tomorrow? Estelle, they're coming to see Estelle. Who would be the best business to go, AI is going to change your life?
People benefiting from it most at the moment, I would say, are service businesses.
Perfect. Good stuff. Which business would find it not very useful? Industry, business, what would they're going to come to Estelle and Estelle going to, this is not going to work for you. This is not going to help. Who would be that possible business that's like, it's not going to work for them?
Somebody looking in the production side of things. So not necessarily product, because that's a different side of the business, but things deeper into a company that look at systems and processes. So let's say you've got your production, let's say you're in a paper factory, and you've got your recycling bit and then your paper bit. So they are specific systems which will have their own thing. So I wouldn't look at it too much for that. But yeah, definitely anybody that's looking at a customer journey, anything to do with lead generation, and that customer journey it's get it in there.
Wow. I'm
Get
already
it.
thinking about businesses I can introduce you to then, because I know a lot of business in that area, and I'm like, oh, this would be good. I've got a painter actually. I've got a painter friend who actually might be a good introduction to you. Look, is there anything else you want to share today before we start wrapping up? Because I found this extremely insightful, Estelle.
Just one thing. It's when you're looking at doing this in a company, if you've got a bigger company and it's more than one, two, or three of you, you've got to look at it from it's not just introducing AI, it's a transformation, it's a change management decision. Putting AI into your business is a transformation, it's a change management situation. And it has to be led from the top and it has to be rolled out properly, because you can't have this person doing this, which is meant to do this, and then you've got Sandra in accounts that's going, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I've done it like this for years, and it works like this, and because then the whole pack of cards comes crashing down. And it is, if you're going to do it and you think that you want to do it in your business, have something in place that is before you even start doing this, have something in place that goes out to do with training, development, and change management and mindset throughout the company. Because in my experience, everywhere I've worked, every place that you work in, there's always one that will put a spanner in the works.
That is very true. Estelle,
Yeah.
this is a fascinating conversation. I'm sure there's going to, because we always try and aim this podcast to coaches and things like that. And I always learn a lot from the podcast that we're going in, especially when the next time I go back into my AI, which I couldn't even log into the other day, and I was like, my subscription is not, why won't it log me in? He went, oh, it does that up sometimes. Do you need to talk to a human person? I'm like, no, just get me back in. And he hasn't yet. But no, I actually. I think that the leaps and bounds that AI has come on is fascinating, and it is miraculous, and I can see that, but I can also see it's got a longer way to go than we like to think it has.
Massive, massive. Yeah. We are at a very low level of it at the minute. And
On an
it
evolutionary stage of AI, caveman, let's go dinosaurs to caveman to where we are now. Where is the evolutionary for AI? What stage is it at?
gosh, I still think we're at the beginning of this.
Like
Uh,
dinosaurs still.
yeah, I still think we are very, very early doors with this. If you look at what they can do, and if you liken it to like in COVID, when you've got that people spend years and years and years developing solutions for things and cures for things, yet in COVID they managed to create that cure within 2 weeks or something, within a week. They managed to get that uh, thing, didn't they?
That
Well,
wasn't a cure. Well, that wasn't a
yeah.
vaccine and actually didn't
Okay,
work with
let's
anything.
leave that open. Bad example then. Won't use that one again.
Yeah,
But
that's
it is,
fair.
but it is that thing, and now it's being used by it. This has been in the making for a lot of years, and when you think about that, it's only the 60s. It was when it started. The 80s, it was used for things, but it's only like 2018 was only when it really became mass market. And look at what we've done in 6 years.
Yeah, it is. I remember that. Actually, now thinking about it, I do remember a lot of the AI stuff. I always remember War Games with Matthew Broderick. That was the one. And
But
then
this,
then
yeah,
and then you always go Terminator 2, which was the rise of the machines, which is where AI took over. So you can understand why everyone at this one time is going, Terminator 2, Judgment Day is just around the corner. Terminator 2, Judgment Day is just around the corner because we are. So I suppose it has been going on for a long time. I remember it was used in chess because I remember them showing this AI computer can actually beat Kasparov at chess. So actually, yes, AI was around like that was the early 80s. Look, this has been a fascinating subject, Estelle. And what I've took away from this as we start wrapping up is you're going to need an Estelle to be able to make your AI work, whether that's Estelle or somebody within your business. It's not ready to be played with on its own. And I think that's a massive congratulations and a pat on the back for you for that, Estelle, because I could see how passionate you were about talking about what needs to happen to make those advertisements of AI making your life completely different to actually, you're right, make them different.
Don't trust that entirely. That's been made by AI. That tells you everything, doesn't it? Ultimately, the message is, as always, keep it simple. Only do what you need to do for the purpose of what you want to happen.
Keep it simple, stupid is what it was.
Yes,
That's what the saying was. Thank you very much for being on the podcast. Estelle, we'll take your details and we'll put it into the podcast description. If you're looking for my best solutions and some AI solutions to see how it's going to work for you, clearly Estelle, the person that's going to be able to help build that for you and build it with you, I think is the most important part of that concept. Thank you. I think if we can say anything, if it's in the mind, it can be managed, or if it's in the AI mind, Estelle is the one that manages that for you. Big love from Cuddy, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast.